Good morning, everybody. I hope you had a great Christmas and Happy New Year. It's a shame we're not back in school. Right, so the plan here is to continue. So keep working on as if we're in class. We did a couple of video recordings like this when Fionn was in hospital, so you're somewhat familiar with them. But basically, I'll deliver the material that I would normally deliver in a class. So I have a good idea of what I get through in a particular class. I'll go through it, make all the notes. As always, you'll have access to all the notes. So this is Cluxton's folder that I'm writing on, but I'll copy it over to Taylor and McGrath as well. So you'll all have access to the notes. And then what I'm thinking, because obviously, you're getting your notes, I'm explaining it to you, you have the video, you can pause it as much as you want and stuff to make sure you know what you're doing. So the only real element of the class that's missing is being able to ask me a question. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to try the collaboration space. So we haven't really used it much, but what I'm thinking is I'm going to add a page called Rational Numbers 1, which is what I'm calling this class. And if when you're listening to the video, you think, oh, what does she mean by that? Or if I was in class, I'd put my hand up and ask that question. Then just go in to the collaboration space and type in your question. So I'll give it, a little while and I'll go in and I'll answer all the questions. So if there's a lot of questions, I might make another video. And if not, I'll just handwrite in the answers to all the questions. So I've no idea if this is going to work, but she will give it a go. And so on all 3 of your pages, I'll create a folder in the collaboration space. Okay, so you see the collaboration space here. There'll be a folder in there for this first class is Rational Numbers 1. And then you guys put in whatever questions pop into your mind. Okay, if you could type them, that would be great, just because then at least if I'm writing and you're typing, I can see everybody's clear, like, okay, this was the question and this is the answer. Might be the case, which is normally the case, to be fair, that when somebody thinks of a question and writes it in, that's the exact question you were thinking of. So hopefully it'll help other people out as well. So I'm going to try that. So let's try that. So where am I down here? Rational numbers. Okay, so I'm going to talk through the content like I would in class and write down any information that's required notes wise and stuff like that. You'll receive these videos at 9 o'clock on the day you have class. So for McGrath, that's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and for Taylor and Cluxton, that's Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. So on those days at 9 o'clock, you will receive your maths class by email. Okay, go in, watch the video, pause it as much as you want, go back into the collaboration space, write whatever questions you feel you need answered, and then there will be homework. Okay, I'll attach homework. I'll highlight the homework in the video, I won't attach it separately. And you then do your homework just like you would in class. So I know some of you were exclusively working on the iPad, which is absolutely fine, and some of you were still working in your copy and taking pictures. That's fine. So you will put your homework into your folders. Okay, so here's, sorry, column now, but this is your homework. And remember what I want. Okay, I'm not going to be able to look through people, like, to be able to scroll through work to try and find it. So I need a different folder for each day. So Colin would go in, like all of you, and he'd add a page, and I want the title of the page to match the title of my page. So Rational Numbers 1. Okay, and then I can go in there and check that the homework is finished. I'll probably actually mark maybe, 6 a day from each class, and the rest I'll just look and check that it's there. Okay, but please, can you make sure that you have it like this, so that you have not just one document with lots of homework in it, but each day make a new page that matches what my thing is called. So this one will be called Rational Numbers 1. So I'm giving you this work today on a Monday. So this is due by 9 o'clock on Wednesday. So after I post the work at 9 o'clock on Wednesday, I'm going to go looking for the homework. Okay? So that's the plan. If you don't have your homework done, same as in school, you know, I will send you an email warning you of the fact that you haven't done your homework, and if you continue to not do your homework, you will lose VSR points. But look, it won't come to that, it'll be absolutely fine. And let me know if you're having any issues. Okay, so let's get started. Now I think of anything else, I'll say it. Okay, so chapter 6, we're nearly at the end of our numbers section. So we've done, can't write anymore. We've done natural numbers. We've done integers. And now we're going to do rational, decimal, and percentages, which are essentially the same thing. There's different ways of writing the same thing. So we've this one done. So now it's actually 2 chapters on these. So we're going to concentrate on these. Okay. So rational numbers. Rational numbers are, can't you see that? Fractions. Okay, so rational, that's what they are. The symbol for them is Q. And so do you remember when we did, like, say, our number line? I can put this in. So when we started with natural numbers, we had the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that was your natural numbers. And then we brought in the integers, which were 0, -1, -2, -3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So it was the natural numbers plus the 0 and the negative numbers. And they continued on to infinity and minus infinity. So that's the integers. And now we're talking about the rational numbers, okay? And the rational numbers is everything in between. So it's all your fractions in here, between 1 and 2, between 2 and 3, between 3 and 4, between -2 and -1, okay? So that's what the rational numbers are. They're all the bits in between, all the fractions. Okay? So that's essentially what we're talking about. If we have a quick look at the keywords here. So yeah, rational numbers are fractions. So we're going to have to do a bit of work with fractions, which hopefully is okay. Numerator and denominator, don't know if you know those words, but if we take a fraction like, say, 5/6, the top line, the 5, is the numerator, and the bottom line, the 6, is the denominator. Okay, so numerator is just a fancy word for the top line of a fraction, and denominator is a fancy word for the bottom line of a fraction. The next two here are a proper and an improper fraction. So a proper fraction would be like 5/6, where the top line is smaller. Yeah? An improper fraction, then, you might have called it a top-heavy fraction. I don't know if you've heard of that. But it's basically where, so something like 10/9, where the top line is bigger. Okay, so that's a proper and an improper fraction. A mixed number is when you have like a whole number like 2 and a fraction like a half. So 2.5. That's a mixed number. So it's got like this bit here is a natural number, and this bit here is a rational number. Okay, so it's got a mix of 2 of the number sets. Is that all right? Goes on then to equivalent fractions, fraction strips, ratios, proportions, simplest form, and reciprocal, which I think we'll get to as we go through the chapter, okay? But I think the bits I've just talked about there are sort of the basics. Okay, so rational numbers. Rational numbers are fractions, so rational numbers and fractions are the same thing. I told you what the symbol was. Just change the colour of that today. Yeah. I told you what the symbol was. So the symbol for a rational number is Q. It actually stands for, not to confuse anyone, but Q actually stands for quotient. And you remember quotient was just a fancy word for division. And a fraction like 2 over 3 is just a division. It's just 2 divided by 3. So that's where quotient comes from. The Q. It's not completely mental. Now, do we remember what this symbol means? It means subset. So do you remember that we had, like, I just did that up above, but I'll do it again. So, you know how I love when this happens. Let's try it again. Okay, got it this time. I'm just going to change this into boxes. So the natural numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. They're natural. Yeah. The integers are all of these and 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, minus 7, minus 8, and so on. So all of these are integers. Yeah. And then, like I said, the rational numbers, the fractions, are in here. They're like in between. Okay, so they're in the gaps in between. And absolutely everything there is a rational number. So essentially what I'm saying is that all the natural numbers are in the integer set, and all the integers are in the rational number set. Yeah? So they're all subsets of each other. So we can say that the natural numbers are a subset of the integers, are a subset of the rationals. Yeah, so the sets are building. You pick up all the natural numbers and you plop them in with the integers. And then you pick up all the natural numbers, all the integers, and you put them into the rational number set. So they're all subsets of each other. Is that okay? So we've done questions like this before, but we'll have a quick look at it. So the number 5. So the number 5 is a positive whole number, which means it's natural. So it goes in here. It's that one. Minus 2, that's a negative whole number. So that's an integer. 0 is an integer. A half is a fraction. That goes out here. Now the square root of 9. So this button is on your calculator. Can I show you? Where did I put the calculator? Here. So here's my calculator, and the square root is here. See that button there? So if you press that button and then press 9 and press equals, you should get 3. Okay, so that there is actually 3, which is a positive whole number, which is natural. Yeah? And then minus 2/3 is a fraction, so that goes out here. It's rational. Is that alright? So like I said, if anybody has any questions about the placement of any of those numbers, just throw a question into the collaboration space, and you can let me know, and hopefully I can explain it a little bit better. Excuse me. So different types of fractions. I talked about this a second ago. So here it is here. This is kind of what you need. Hang on now. There. So a half is a proper fraction and minus 8 over 5 is an improper fraction. So I said a proper fraction, the top line will be smaller than the bottom line, and an improper fraction, the top line will be bigger. Okay, so this one here is your top heavy fraction. Yeah? Okay, and then a mixed number, there's one there. So again, like I told you, it's made up of the 2, which is a natural number, and the 2/3, which is a rational number. So that's why it's referred to as being mixed, because it's a mixture of 2 different number sets. Yeah? Okay, so we're going to have a look now at fractions in their simplest form. Now this is easy for you guys because you can just use your calculator. Okay, so if you write into your calculator here, so if you use your fraction button, then you get like this sort of thing here. And then you can use these arrows to go up and down, and you want to put the 4 on top and you want to put the 10 on the bottom. Okay, and then you just go down here and you press your equals button and it will simplify it for you. Okay, so like you don't actually, I know in school you would have had to like figure out a number that divides into both and divide it in. You don't have to do any of that. All of this can be just done using your calculator with your fraction button. Press equals and it will give you the fraction in its simplest form. Okay, so you can try it there yourself. 4 over 10 should be 2 over 5. 12 over 15, so 4 over 5. And this should be 3 over 4 for C. And then this one, writing this as an improper fraction, again, you do this on your calculator. Okay, so we'll go back to the calculator. Right, so just get rid of this. So what you need, see this here? That's a mixed fraction. Okay, so the way we get that is you press shift and you press fraction. Okay, and then up here you'll get like a box and then 2 boxes like this. Okay, and again you use your arrows to navigate, and we want to put, oh God, what was it? Was it 3 in here? I actually can't remember. 3.5. So we want to put the 3 here, you want to put 1 here, and you want to put a 2 here. So you just use the arrows here, move around, put the numbers in the right place, and then come down here and press your equals button. Okay, and it will give it to you as a top heavy fraction or an improper fraction, which is what the question is. And hopefully when you do it, so try it there please, it should be 7 over 2. Okay, it'll also give it to you as a decimal. So for all of these, if you're getting it as a decimal and you want to change it into a fraction, you need to use that S to D button. Do you remember where that was? So this one. That will bring you from fractions to decimals. Okay? So that is basically it. So I'm going to get you to try a few of these questions. Actually, I don't know if I want to bother with these. We'll definitely do this one. Okay, so we're going to do this one for homework. What fraction of each of the following shape is coloured? And we're going to do you colouring it. So question 1 and question 2. Right, so I think that's it. So we leave it at that for today. So those two questions, question 1 and question 2, so you can pause the video so that you can see them. Please do those questions. They'll obviously be in your notes if you want to take them across into, if you want to use them, like the diagram stuff, any of you that are doing it on the iPad. But that is due for 9 o'clock on Wednesday morning for all 3 classes. Is that alright? And please don't forget to use the collaboration space if you need to ask me questions. I will come back to you with answers.